screen done CAD. Okay, good. Alright, so you just want to create an A3 page.
Yes.
Okay.
So I ideally wanted an A3 for all of them.
Okay.
And I managed to rescale the Form C once, and then after that I never managed to get it right for any of the other pages.
Okay, let's just see.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to change, why do you want these on A3s?
For the construction assignment, they were supposed to be handed in on A3s, but I suppose if this is for OKU now, it doesn't need to be.
Doesn't need to be.
Okay,
No.
well then that saves a lot of
Well, let me just quickly show you how to do it and
Okay.
how to set up your page correctly. I released a video yesterday or the day before just to help you guys print things better. So maybe let me just talk you through that first.
Okay.
Let's get that. So let's get rid of that layout. Delete this layout. Yes. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is right click on any of these and go to Page Setup Manager. Come on. Page Setup Manager. Okay. A3 modify. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you a quick workaround to sort a lot of the stuff out.
Okay.
Change this plot style to monochrome going forward. It's something I found with the previous way I was showing you guys how to do stuff. It actually doesn't really work very well.
Okay.
Then you're going to go to, if you go right to the top, there's an ISO full bleed A3. If you use a full bleed A3, the margins, it's not restricted. You can see in this page the margins, the print margins. So use the full bleed.
Okay.
Okay, a lot of printers nowadays will print full bleed, okay, well, close enough. But if you make your margins big enough, and I'll show you how to scale that correctly, okay, good. So ISO full bleed A3, everything, one thing we're going to set this up very quickly, and this is DWG to PDF, make sure that that's the case. There you can see it's actually found the full bleed. Okay, that's all good. I'm going to say display plot styles, and everything must be checked just like this, and everything else is good. Press OK. Yes. Now, whatever one of these views, if you assign A3, if you double click, so whatever view you're in, A1, you can see this is layout A1, but it's assigned my print settings A3.
Okay.
A1 will work the same, just maybe for the exam. Let me explain this. We can quickly modify this one quickly, and we can set it up going forward that this will always be, if you just keep these settings just like this, things will work really well.
Okay.
And you're going to go to monochrome. Okay, everything else is set, and if I go and double click now on A1, you see it changes to A1. If I close, you'll see that that's an A1 sheet. But also look what's happened to your viewports. This is the way it's going to print now. So instead of using the layers whiten, so let me explain. So let's just go back to model space. I'm going to quickly fix your line settings for you so that they print correctly.
Okay. I think I know what I did wrong with that was because I followed your video and I changed all the colors, but I didn't apply them on the.
Yeah.
There was a special button.
But that is actually quite a complicated way. And the reason why I didn't go this route initially is because people lose the plot styles.
Oh, okay.
But that monochrome is on every machine by default. So I'm going to go that route rather. It's simpler. It's much easier to manage. Okay. So let me just show you how to, going forward, how to fix. You'll see it's actually very easy to sort out now. The only thing now that you've got to worry about, if you go to these colors and you organize these colors like I've done. Okay, so the things that must always print gray are going to be this levels, hatch, grid, and furniture maybe. You see that they pen 8. So I'll explain. If I start all of these numbers, that's 1 to 9, then you'll find that all of these are 1 to 2, and I'll explain now, 255. So what you do is you select the color that you want, and then you go to true color. Then you just simply press OK. Now you see it's got an RGB code rather than a pen code. Okay, think of it. I'll explain now. If I press OK and I go back to your A1 sheet, if you go and see, look what's happened to you. Everything that must print in color now will print in color. Now there's not any more settings. You don't have to go and mess around with these whites and trying to get things. Now you just work with your layers. Okay, now why is it doing this? Let's go to Page Setup Manager. So in Page Setup Manager we go to Modify. I'll change it back to A3 now. If you see this monochrome CDP file, if I go and edit it, you'll notice that these colors here, plot styles, these are index colors or pens. Think of them as pens. 1 to 255. Now that 1 to 255, any one of them check, you'll see that it prints color black. Everything else it'll use the the settings that you've used to set up your layers. It will use all of those settings. So in my opinion, this is the most simple way to get a good print. Worst case, if you make a mistake with the color, it prints black. Okay, so it's much more simple, and this monochrome is on all the machines in the lab if you need to use the lab machines. Okay, and if you install a new machine, this will be there. Okay, so that color. So if I just go back to model space, go back to, so just to recap, here's your index colors, which is your pens in theory. As soon as you change those colors, so let's just look at your services quickly, just fix that quickly. So let's go to service waste. It's very easy to fix these. True color, press OK. Now you see it's got a true color. Maybe services wastewater, and let's just sort that out quickly. This is the only thing. Next year my template will be upgraded with the true colors.
Okay.
So going forward, I will fix this just because I think it's going to be way easier. I just want to get all the services electrical, just so we don't have a mess with that.
So
true
anything that I want in color, I must just
you make
do
a true color.
Okay.
Exactly that, true color, and then it sorts it out.
Perfect.
See, it's got this code, and that's
Yeah.
just telling you it's an RGB. So
Okay.
red, green, blue, and that's the code that it will use. Okay.
And the other things that are in color currently are just going to be black and white.
Yeah, so if there's a designated pen assigned, you see this white 8, 9, 30,
Yeah.
those codes are designated pen numbers or index colors, whereas these are true colors. Okay, so let's just say I'm happy with that result. Now if I go back to my A1 sheet and I quickly go to Page Setup Manager, change this to A3. Now you'll notice that all your services, but now you can see it's starting to, just cut your walls,
Yeah.
but but you're getting there. And let's just go to a services plan where you've done some services. Look at your services. Oh, I should have locked that. Sorry, Control Z. Let me just go back to that sheet. What sheet was this? What scale was that?
That I think was supposed to be
1 to 100 maybe, or 1 to 200 maybe. Anyway, you can fix this very quickly. But now you see, look how neat that works now. You can see your services are a nice color. Just make your furniture, put your furniture on a gray layer as well.
Okay.
Just furniture we always gray out. You see this over here? We can just put that. So that color there. And you'll notice if you put the true colors, it assigns it to the viewport color as well. So if I went here, for example, and I went there, true color, that one. But what's neat is, it should have done it for both. It's just because we've got and set it up. If you set this up beforehand, it fixes, you'll see that it'll fix all of those colors. Now your furniture will be nice.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
Toilet fixtures we leave as they are, but these other, and if you're going to cut a wall, I'll explain that as well, just to give you some help with that. And now you can see this works really well.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's just quickly go and sort out this guy. So what's happening here currently is go to Page Setup Manager, on A3. Sometimes when you've set up the layout, you haven't put the sheet on the right location, so that's why it does this. So what you can do is you can grab this guy, you can grab this, and you can move it to #0,0. You move it back to the origin. You'll see this is always the origin of the sheet in essence. If I go to X line now, vertical, I'm going to make a construction line and just show you how this works more or less. And I go 0,0. It'll put it there. Horizontal, I'm just putting some construction lines, 0,0. So this works. A layout also has a UCS in essence. Okay, I'm going to go to offset 594. No, you want A3s, 420. Oh yeah, offset.
I think because we have to do more drawings for your OKU assignment, because we need more elevations, I think I might just put it on an A1 eventually.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
I'm just going to show you how to sort this out.
Okay.
So in essence, that's your sheet size. Now, this guy. Say now this was my A1 sheet. What I would do, and this is quite important, if you edit the block, you'll see, let's use your properties. You'll have to duplicate this block and rename it to something else. You see it's got a name A1 sheet, this block.
Yes.
Okay, so what I would do is I will copy this I'll leave it like this, and I'm going to rename this block. Okay, so you can go to edit block, block editor. Now you can rename this as a new block, save block as. I'm going to give it a new name. So I call this A3. And I'm going to fix it in here, actually, A3. Okay, it's good that we're recording this because this is one point. Because if I went DI in here, you'll find that this is still to an A1. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we need to do here is, I'm going to create some construction lines again. Because here I just want to make sure that my margins are correct. X line, horizontal, 0, 0. Okay, now offset, I should have done this first rather, 420. But now in the project you can have 2 sheets and you won't have to mess around with the scale. Okay, offset 297.
Perfect.
Okay, now this guy. Now a typical safe margin for an A3 will be about 5 mil. So offset 5. Did not 5. Okay, now you're going to grab all of this stuff and you're going to scale it. So grab everything, you're going to move this guy to there, and then you're going to go to S scale P for previous, because I got my previous object selected. Okay, now it's asking for a base point. Now I'm going to go R for reference. I'm going to say scale all this information from there, and I want that to be there. And then last thing, stretch. Let's make sure everything looks good. Good. Now that has been scaled perfectly. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. It's just these images have moved somewhat. Don't know why that did. Let's just put these things in the right location. I must fix it as well as make those vectors do it properly. Okay, good. Now I'm happy with the result. Close block. Save changes. Okay, now if we select this guy and I press Ctrl 1, you'll notice that the scale factor, this is where the mistake was. If I change all of this to 1, I'm going to make it back, I'm going to turn it back into a proper A1 sheet.
Okay.
All I need to do now is get rid of this guy. Let's just move it to the side very quickly. Get rid of this stuff. Now I can go to insert a new block. Here I can go and find my A3, 0, 0. Here you can go and fill in all that information that you need, but look how nice that fits on my sheet now.
Oh.
So now you've got an A1 block and you've got an A1 sheet, so you can use them. So in any viewport, here I can just simply go and say insert A3, 0, 0. You can quickly fill in the information for the sheet. Now this one, oh, don't delete the viewport, my bad. Yeah. So now you can see it's very easy now to flip between the stuff that you need. I will teach you guys how to do this a bit better, okay? But that's that. In a nutshell, and you can see our plot styles are working really nice. Just a quick one, let me just show you on your walls. There's something I've spotted. What you need to do is, you see that the wall lines, you just need to start breaking them away from the other elements.
Yeah.
So for your window, so what happens when you cut, you're actually seeing the sill lower down.
Yeah.
It's a thinner line. So here's a very neat little tool here. So you're going to grab this line, you're going to go, so what we can do is we can break, so modify, we can break with point. So I'm going to go break that bit of line work there, spacebar repeat command, and I can grab this line work and click over there. Spacebar, break it there, spacebar, break it there. Okay, now technically you're not going to see that because the sill, the window, now I can go to line. Let me just see if this was the line here intended to do that. So that I can do that. I'll explain now what we're doing. Your sills. Let me just undo that a bit. So what I'll do in this instance is I'll stretch this windowsill, because this is telling you where the sill works from. Stretch. Okay, that will go to there.
Okay.
Now, MA, match properties, that with that, that with that. Now, you'll see on your plans that's going to read way better. Okay, break that one from there to there, fill it. Now, you can start joining these lines together. It just makes more sense here. This will actually stop here. I don't know what that's come from. That's a bit of text that's coming from a family maybe. Here you can break the line here, the line there, because technically it doesn't have to go into the, so technically break okay. Then is a nice command if you want to start cleaning these things out. So when you use this command over here, it isolates that layer. So if you click this command and you see these, let's move this out the way, these settings over here, you go to off and you click off again. Watch this. All it does is it quickly hides. So now you can work on these layers very, very rapidly. Now you can go and see where you need to clean up, open where the walls go. Okay, so this is way better. Here you can also make sure everything is by layer, for example, especially for the walls layer. Then if you want to bring everything back, you just simply do that. Okay. Now, sometimes it will not bring stuff back. So you have to go to layer properties. You'll have to go and click on this all icon, and you can just say visible. It'll switch all of them back on very quickly, or you just quickly go through the, okay. But this way, so by doing, so what I can do is I can select just those and do that, and then just those. So now you can start fixing stuff quite rapidly. So it doesn't, your views are not polluted by. So for example, what I would have done this, for example. Watch this, trim, and I just go trim that away. This, because these 2 bits of line work, this one's tricky. You see here I would have had to trim that, so I could just spacebar, repeat last command. Here maybe I might have had to stop the wall. Okay, why did it do that? It should not have trimmed it that badly. Surely. Oh yeah, it's trim. Let me just see now. Yeah, that one, that's correct. That one. And then this is tricky. I would have drawn a line from there. And what I like is it uses one of the layers that you currently got active as your default. Then I could have just trimmed, trim. So you can see to fix this up now won't take a lot of time. Trim, this is very quick, trim that there. Here you can see I can trim that very quickly. You can leave it just like that because your hatch is closed already. Likewise there, here. Okay, so that way if you start going to your plans, just remember you can also use this guy all visible on, and it switches them all on in any case. Now you can start seeing, and I just want to show you on your windows how nice this will start reading. Can you see? That's how that should read.
Yeah.
That should read. Okay. That should read. That should read. Cool. Then you've got a nice definition between your structure and your masonry.
Yeah.
Okay. Your doors work the same way. Okay. Technically, with the door, let me explain what happens with the door so you understand that better. So here, so let's just grab this information just like this. This is what I like doing very quickly. Then you don't have hatches in the way. Here, these guys have got to fix this quickly. You can just stretch this stuff out to see what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah.
But if you start working with blocks better, I know that it has been tricky this year for you guys. Stretch. So pull that guy to there. Stretch, and I'll show you. This is very easy to fix. And if one you just fix one of these and then match properties. Watch this. Now, one last little trick we can do. Very quickly, you can right click and you can say isolate. So here's an extra isolation. Isolate objects very quickly. Just make sure they're trim. Then right click, end isolation. So you don't have to mess around with the layers as
Yeah.
well, because now I don't want to mess around now. If I want everything back quickly, done. Okay.
Wow.
So there's those little tricks
Yeah.
that you guys can start learning to use. But now you can see my door is way better.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Perfect.
Anything
Thank
else?
you. I think for the construction assignment that we did, I know we hadn't really been taught at that point how to do plumbing and stuff in
Don't show the plumbing. I don't want
Okay.
services.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that you guys understand how to put a plan, section, elevations together.
Okay.
Because the kitchen thing would have taught you guys how to project stuff up.
Yeah.
Okay.
That did. Okay.
Cool. I just want plans, sections, and elevations.
Okay. Perfect.
Done.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. My pleasure. Stop sharing.